Michigan versus Maryland in College Park, mid-first quarter, and this is Henry Poggi up the middle for the touchdown. Michigan dominated the line of scrimmage in this game. Into the second we go, 14-0 Wolverines. Brandon Peters with a beautiful pass finds a wide-open Zach Gentry who scampers into the end zone, 21-0 Michigan. Michigan got the ball back quickly, and this is Peters on the bootleg, firing on over to Sean McCune for the touchdown. But the Terps would threaten to score until this. Ryan Brand, the fourth-string quarterback for Maryland, gets picked off, and it's David Long, and he has plenty of green grass ahead. He's going to take it to the 20-yard line. Now, Quinn Nordin would actually miss the field goal and started jawing with Harbaugh on the sideline, something we will be talking about here on the Michigan Football Report, but it is going to be a big-time victory for these Wolverines. Here you go. Chris Evans will lay the hammer. 17-yard touchdown. Michigan wins big time.
Man crates. Awesome gifts for men in real wooden crates, wrapped in a cocoon of duct tape, or housed in ammo cans that are virtually indestructible. Some gifts he'll get to assemble himself. Some gifts you'll beg him to share. And some gifts are sealed inside layers of rock-solid concrete. Gifts guys love, from grilling gear to old-school video games and more. Man crates. Awesome gifts for men.
Hey folks, and welcome into the Michigan Football Report Recap Edition. Cam Rogers alongside the Michigan Football Insider James Yoder. The Michigan Wolverines victorious in this one against the Maryland Terrapins, 35-10, your final score. James, wasn't meant for a million highlight reels, if you will. Maybe not the big-time headlines, but still a victory.
You know, one of the more boring Michigan football games in a 35-10 victory I can remember, Cam. Not much happened. You look at the stats, no one stood out at all. We've got a former quarterback, a tight end as the leading receiver. We've got a bunch of running backs with double-digit carries, but nobody did anything. And Brandon Peters is fairly pedestrian, 9 of 18 passing, so not much going on offense. Nothing truly inspiring to go into next week versus Wisconsin, a Wisconsin team that will most likely be ranked in the top 6 in the college football playoff rankings at the time. So not sure what to make of this, Cam. I give it just like a C-plus grade as a team. They won a game they were expected to win, but no one stood out individually.
And folks, we are completely live, so throw in your reactions to this Michigan football victory over the Maryland Terrapins. Michigan got off to a big-time start, 28-0 at the half, and I guess you could kind of wonder, maybe they just kind of laid down their arms, if you will, in that second half. They knew that they're going to win this game. Maryland was just outmatched.
I mean, nothing happened in the third quarter at all, which was really disappointing. There was almost no passing offense in the second quarter to be found at all. And I said this yesterday with Tom, Cam. Michigan needed to give Brandon Peters the opportunity to throw 25-plus times this game, because if he does not do that, they will not win next week versus Wisconsin. And frankly, after what I saw at Ohio State today at home versus a great Michigan State team that kicked Michigan's butt all over the field, they're going to get destroyed by Ohio State. So this is an uninspiring performance to me out of this Michigan football team. I expected them to lay it on. You were saying 55-0.
Yeah.
That's what I expected too. Uninspiring performance coming out of the second half. There's nothing to hold back for a team like Wisconsin or anything. So I'm not sure why they didn't give the offense more opportunity to score, to throw the ball in the field, to throw to a wide receiver, Cam. I was mentioning to my friend Matt while we were watching the game, Michigan's wide receivers didn't have any catches in the first half. It's tight ends, it's running backs. So I don't really like what I see out of the offense, but I'll take a 35-10 win, Cam, on the road in the Big Ten against a team of Maryland that's now 4-6. Your alma mater.
Yes.
You know, we brought in a ringer. This guy Cam Rogers with me. He's a Maryland grad, a recent Maryland grad, by the way. And I think you thought they'd give him a game, but a win is a win, but not an inspiring win to think they're going to go 1-1, 2-0 over the next 2 weeks.
So I'm bringing that College Park blood here, if you will, to this broadcast. And now Maryland 4-6. Looks like they're not going to a bowl game. Meanwhile, Michigan sitting pretty there at 8-2. And I guess one other thing, James, that people may throw in terms of the comment section here, the injury to Karan Higdon. I think this could be very significant as Michigan prepares for a victory over Wisconsin, or prepares for a game over against Wisconsin. That one in Madison, they're going to need Higdon, I think, to be effective.
Well, they absolutely need Karan Higdon. He has proven to be not just the best running back, Cam, he's the best football player in the entire offense. If he is out next week, I don't know what to expect because they will not be able to move the ball against a Wisconsin defense that has proven to be very stout. They shut down Michigan last year with a much better offense. I don't know what they're going to do on the road in Camp Randall against a Michigan team that, frankly, cannot move the ball at all on offense.
And we don't know much about the injury, James. He did leave the game at around the midway point of that game, ankle injury. Looked a little hobbled. That's all we know at this point. I'm sure Jim Harbaugh will be asked about it in the coming press conference, which is probably going on right now or in a couple minutes. So let's go back to the highlights. If you're just tuning in to the Michigan Football Report, let's get into it right here, right now. The Wolverines taking on the Maryland Terrapins in College Park, mid-first quarter. And, well, this actually is going to be, there we go, Mr. Poggi into the end zone, Baltimore's own. And Michigan will strike first. They go up 7-0, 14-0 now. Brandon Peters, great pass protection there for him. He will fire downfield for Zach Gentry, who scampers in 21-0 Michigan. Michigan got the ball back quickly. Peters on the bootleg, hits a wide open Sean McCune. He joins the party, 28-0 Wolverines. But the Terps would threaten to score here. Fourth stringer Ryan Brand gets picked off, though, by David Long. And he was in the end zone when he caught it, and Long is going to take it all the way to the opposing 20-yard line. A great play by Long there on the interception. But with that, Quinn Nordin missed the field goal, started jawing with Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. Not a great look for Michigan's kicker there, something that I'm sure Jim will be asked about in the press conference as well. And then finally, Chris Evans, he's going to lay the hammer, a 17-yard touchdown, 35-10, your final score. Michigan now 8-2. Maryland falls to 4-6. Peters, 9 of 18, $145, but they didn't really need him. This was a game where, honestly, James, football can sometimes be about deception. In this game, it didn't matter because Michigan's men were simply bigger than Maryland's.
Bigger and better, and I'll look at the team stats a little bit. Maybe it's the only thing you could take away from this game. Michigan's defense continues week after week after week after week to shut down opposing offenses, no matter who the team is, as long as they're not Penn State, with a Heisman Trophy front runner and a running back. Their defense is keeping in games. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. If you're facing Maryland next week, if you're facing Ohio State in 2 weeks, they can shut down anybody, any given Saturday. They can shut down everybody, anybody. And I think that gives you some light at the end of the tunnel, but you're not thinking that if you saw the offensive performance today. You're just not. You're not happy with what you saw.
And so with that, folks, we are completely live. We want you reacting to the many topics here that we have on the program. Who was the Michigan man of the day for you? We have a few options out there. You have Gentry with a touchdown pass. Throw up a like for him. Maurice Hurst was quite a stuffer on the defensive line today against a Maryland offensive line that is simply undersized. David Long, of course, with that interception, and Cannell there. So a great performance by him in the secondary. Throw up the heart for Cannell. Long, give a wow, or a laughing face, I should say. A wow face for Maurice Hurst and a like for Zach Gentry. I feel like you are hard-pressed, James, to actually pick one here.
Well, it's got to be Maurice Hurst for me. And he didn't have any outstanding plays. I was actually really surprised about Tyreek Cannell getting in there making some big hits today where he has not done recently. Zach Gentry came along, the leading receiver today, a touchdown. David Long with the interception. But the most consistent player breaking up what Maryland wanted to do on offense all day, again, was Maurice Hurst. He's not the best player in Michigan. He's not the best player in the Big Ten. He might be the best player in the entire country right now, according to the scouts. He's a chance to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. He's not just the best player on this Michigan defensive line. He might be the best player in the country right now, Maurice Hurst. So he's going to be my Big Ten, my Michigan man of the day, unless someone stands out, like last week with Karan Higdon with 200 yards. So it is Maurice Hurst for me.
Seeing a lot of votes for David Long, Maurice Hurst. Long, of course, has the big highlight, but Hurst has been fantastic in the defensive front there today. So throw in those reactions, folks. We will be tracking them as we let you know. We are indeed presented by Man Crates. Head on to mancrates.com. Check out the fantastic website, an array of products made for men. These are gifts guys love. We have a little box right here that are on display for you. And James, these are crates full of testosterone.
Cam, this is what we're doing right now, all right? This is unscripted, but I didn't get to eat lunch today. We are breaking out this bad boy. It's the Jerky Gram from Man Crates. This is testosterone in a box. They usually do it in a crate. We're ripping this bad boy open. We're going to see what they have for us. It is,
card too.
Look at this. I'm going to throw this stuff on the ground here. We have
Ooh.
just jerky on jerky on jerky right here from Man Crates. You want some food? You hungry?
Yeah.
That's for
I'll
you.
Take this with me.
It's the Man Crates. This is the only way to order Christmas gifts for friends. Any guy you know in your life, you got a brother, a dad, a boss, Cam, anybody? Hey, anybody?
Right
anybody
here.
there? Right? Give them a Man Crates. They've got the Michigan barware, Cam. And you know what that gets you? It's a Michigan, box of testosterone. Michigan bar cups. They've got coasters. They've got all kinds of treats. You want to watch the Michigan-Ohio State game? You do it with a Man Crates Michigan barware. So mancrates.com. That's where you get it.
You will also be the MVP of the tailgate. If you waltz into a Michigan tailgate with a Man Crate, pry it open and break out that stuff.
If you bring that box that is basically a wooden box, you have to break them with a crowbar, there is no way you are just not the man that day. So
Absolutely.
If anything, bring a Man Crates to be the man amongst other men, right? Let alone buying a gift for somebody else.
There you have it. It is indeed gifting season, so check out the website, mancrates.com. Many thanks to them for coming along here on Michigan Football Report Recap Edition. James, let's get into the key plays from today's victory, and we're going to start things off with Peters and his touchdown pass to Gentry there, 33-yard score. Everything just worked well here. Good pass protection. Peters was poised, and Gentry was essentially wide open, being covered by a linebacker there from Maryland, and, pretty basic stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with a couple of things. One, that Zach Chichi got this wide open. Two, is that Peters didn't underthrow him, didn't overthrow him. He hit him on the money, and it's what you expect of a quarterback who's a starting quarterback for Michigan. So it's painful to say at this point, Cam, but just basic elementary throws for a Michigan quarterback are a reason to celebrate anymore. So, so Peters is checking boxes, and that's all we can ask from at this point. And if he performs like that, you give this team with this defense a chance to win the next 2 weeks, which is something we couldn't say 3 weeks ago with John O'Corn, and prior to that, Wilton Speight as the quarterback of this team. There's no way they were beating Wisconsin or Ohio State. So I like what I see out of Peters. He was just efficient enough to get the job done. And
Peters had another touchdown pass in this one. Here's another key play from the victory today. A little bootleg action, and Peters on the move is going to find a wide open Sean McCune for the touchdown. It was a first and goal situation, so obviously you won't get a lot of flack if that play doesn't work out. You can run the football a couple more times. But Brandon Peters on the move, James Yoder, has been fantastic.
Well, I said this a couple days ago in Michigan football preview, is that he is the best on the run thrower that Michigan has maybe ever, Cam. And some people might say 2009 Tate Forcier was better, but that was a very wildly inefficient Tate Forcier. Peters can get outside the pocket. He does not look unpoised at all, and he can take 6 steps to the right, keep his eyes downfield, and hit guys. Sometimes he'll underthrow, and he skipped a couple balls off the turf in front of guys' feet, but he gives Michigan the best opportunity with a weaker offensive line than you want to let a play break down. He's not going to break it for 30 yards or anything like that running, but he can get outside the pocket. He usually always goes to the right, so if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm forcing him the other way, but he can hit guys on the run, and that is a differentiator for this Michigan offense versus what we've seen from 2 other guys this season.
All right, next key play here. So Maryland came into this game with their 4th string quarterback, a walk-on in Ryan Brand, and with that, you're going to have a lot of mistakes, and clearly this was one of them. David Long with the interception, and just the burner speed all the way down to the 20-yard line. Quinn Nordin missed field goal aside here, James. Obviously a big-time play.
Well, it's good to see Michigan get turnovers because that's actually something that's been very lacking from this team basically all season. They have not got the opposing offense to turn over the ball many times. And I'll tell you what, I thought this was going to the house. I was yelling before I was watching this game on my own. I'm just saying, take it to the house, baby. So he didn't take it to the house. Unfortunate. That would have been fun to see, like 106 yards to the house. That would have been a good play. But great play by him. Great run, and you always like to see when the defensive players get out in front of an interception, they're blocking, they want to take it to the house so bad. So I love that play. That play got me excited in an otherwise boring game.
Yeah, it was a boring game at that, but certainly something that you will take as a Michigan football fan.
No question at all.
Is there any momentum going into this coming schedule here? It's a gauntlet schedule the rest of the year with Ohio State in a couple weeks, and then Wisconsin coming up.
The momentum is that you're coming off 3 straight wins after that embarrassing Penn State loss, and you have a quarterback that I think everyone on that team thinks is maybe not thinking, hey, he's the best guy in the country, he's the best guy in the league. He is at least the best guy on this team that gives him a chance to win, and I do think there's a little bit of a psychology there. If all the players think, hey, this is the best guy, this is our guy, this is the guy we want to play with them. And I think there's a little bit of, I've talked about this on previous Michigan football reports where there's some rumors around just a lot of discontent. People didn't think they were playing the right guys. They've got the right guy in. Finally, I don't know what the hell they were waiting for, honestly. I literally don't. We saw what John O'Korn did for 4 straight weeks.
Right.
He was a disaster. He was the worst quarterback in the history of the Michigan football program, at least in my lifetime. They've got the right guy. I think they go into Wisconsin, who will be probably number 6 in the country next week, maybe number 5. I think they win next week. I think they get the win. I think they win on the road in Camp Randall, and they eliminate any chance the Big Ten has to get in the college football playoff. So I've got to win in Wisconsin. If they do that on the road, it will be the biggest road win of the Harbaugh era by far in 3 years. If they do that, they go into the Ohio State game on a 4-game winning streak with a quarterback who is 4-0. I mean, there's 3-0 as starter, but he really won that Rutgers game for him. And Brandon Peters that you really trust going to the Ohio State game with every reason to take that one home, to finish out the year strong with 5 straight wins and go into a big-time bowl game. So I think they got a big chance next week, and I like what I see. There's no reason they shouldn't have every opportunity to win that game next week and against Ohio State. So we'll see. Ohio
State looked pretty darn good today against Michigan State. So with that, folks, what will be Michigan's record in the next 2 games? Give us a heart for 2-0. They beat Wisconsin and Ohio State. 1-1, give us a laughing face, and 0-2, give us an angry face. James, it seems as though you're opening your crystal ball here, and you're saying 2-0.
I'm going half heart, half laughing face.
Oh, you can't do that.
I'm going in the middle, right in the middle. Because I'll say this, it pains me. I'm going to take like this jerky and just like shove it in my mouth to shut me up right now because Michigan, they just can't beat Ohio State. There's no way it's going to happen. I'm very sorry to say this. I watched the game today. I've watched every Ohio State game this year, save maybe the first half versus Iowa last week, and they're just fundamentally a better team than Ohio State. And I hate to say this as well, they've got a better coach than Michigan. They've got the second best coach in college football history in Urban Meyer. Ohio State will win that game. I don't think there's any chance that they don't. I don't think it'll be a blowout by any means, but I think it'll be a 24-17 Ohio State win. But I think Michigan gets the win against Wisconsin next week. Returning only 6 starters, Cam. If you go 9-3 with a road win in the last 2 games against Wisconsin team that's a top 6 team, I think you actually have a lot of momentum going into next season. So I would take that any day of the week. Now, if they go 0-2, it just leads to an offseason full of questions you don't want to answer if you're Jim Harbaugh. So they've got to win this one against Wisconsin because I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State.
Well, let me ask you this, James, and we have a weigh-in for the folks at home. What team is Michigan more likely to beat, Ohio State or Wisconsin? If you are going to actually try and beat an Ohio State, you got to replicate the formula that Iowa had.
Yep.
Does Michigan have the personnel to do that?
I don't know if they have. I mean, Iowa scored 55 points. I believe I'm getting the number right. Over 50 points on Ohio State, right? I can't remember a team in my lifetime, Cam. I'm going back into the 80s. That team that scored that many points in Ohio State. Even Clemson blew them out last year. Could only get 31 points. And this is Urban Meyer. So do they have the formula to score 55 points? Not a chance in hell. There's no way possible. But what they do have a chance is to rattle JT Barrett. We saw them do it for over 3 quarters last year. Barrett came live in the 4th quarter. So what they have to do is a chance to shut down an Ohio State offense that has been wildly inconsistent. 1 week you get JT Barrett, he looks like he's about to win the Heisman. The next week he's throwing 4 interceptions, losing by 30 points. And then today he beats a number 12 Michigan State team. They could have scored 75 if they put it on the gas the entire game. So you don't know what JT Barrett you're going to get. Michigan has the opportunity with that defensive line to rattle Barrett, make it bad Barrett. If they do, they can beat Ohio State. But I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, as we come back on screen, Cam Rogers alongside the Michigan football insider, James Yoder, as we recap a Michigan football victory for you all. We are presented by Man Crates. These are boxes full of testosterone. James just opened a beef jerky crate, and these are great products.
This is my dinner. I'll tell you what, I'm ripping this thing open for the show. I'm eating the entire thing. I don't have to eat for 12 hours because I have Man Crates in a box. It's jerky. This is testosterone. I'll tell you what, you eat this, you are just basically getting any lady you want because they feel the testosterone coming off you.
And my dad's birthday is coming up, so I'm heading on to this website, mancrates.com, and purchasing one for my pops. So
without question. Mr. Rogers? Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers.
Appreciate it, yeah. It's going to be a great gift.
So many thanks to Man Crates for coming along here. Let's go to the highlights one more time. This victory for the Michigan Wolverines, and it's Poggi up the middle to score for the first time for the Wolverines in this one, 7-0 Michigan. They dominated the line of scrimmage all day long, folks. Here's Peters' beautiful pocket and he will fire downfield for Zach Gentry, who scampers in 21-0 Michigan. Michigan got the ball back quickly here. It's Peters on the move, and he fires for Sean McCune. 28-0 Wolverines, but the Terps would threaten here. Ryan Brand, the fourth-string walk-on quarterback, actually gets picked off by David Long, and Long is going to fight all the way downfield. Maryland would eventually get him down around the 20-yard line, but a great play there by Long. Quinn Nordin missed the field goal, and Nordin had some words for Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. A very questionable move there by the young kicker. So we have Chris Evans to wrap things up for the Wolverines. Evans up the middle. Maryland was just undersized all day long, and that's a 17-yard score for Evans. 35-10. Your final: Michigan 8-2, Maryland 4-6. I do want to touch upon this real quick, James. The jawing that went on the sideline with Harbaugh and Nordin. What are your thoughts?
Well, Quinn Nordin is a guy who has played phenomenally well this year. He's Michigan's best kicker in maybe 10-plus years, Cam, and he is the best haircut of any college football player, maybe in history. It's the wild thing. He's got that, like, jagged edge hair going on.
Yeah.
So, in general, when I saw it, I thought this: if they have to kick a field goal again, does Harbaugh just sit Nordin on the bench and just – Harbaugh's a very stubborn guy. They might bench Nordin. So I think there's a chance that maybe Nordin hits the bench if Harbaugh thinks it was – depends on what he said. If he said, shut up, or even talk back, if he just says, I did, or something like that, maybe Harbaugh lets it go. But we'll see. I think Jim Harbaugh is the kind of guy that – puts a starter on the bench, puts a star on the bench if they talk back. So we'll see what really happened.
Okay, Michigan with a victory here today in College Park. As we remind you, you can get the Michigan Football Report video podcast. Get James Yoder wherever you go. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Download, subscribe, leave a review as well.
Cam, did you know we were a top 10 sportscast in the entire world? Sports video podcast in the entire world. I mean, we're beating the Big Ten as a podcast from Michigan, right? They're here. We are above them. We are crushing the Big Ten network, and there's a reason why. We've got a better show than them. So go with the Michigan Football Video Podcast. We're doing 5 or 6 episodes a week, Cam. Rumors, press conferences, game highlights. It's the best by far. It crushes the Big Ten network. So chatsports.com/GoBlue.
Nobody knows how to work the wires among Michigan than this guy right here. He gets all the rumors. He has all the inside info, so certainly subscribe. And that does it for us here on the Michigan Football Report. For the Michigan Football Insider, James Yoder, I am Cam Rogers. Once again, thank you to Man Crates for coming along here. We'll see you next time.